participants, good morning. Welcome to the Invest Horizon Pitching eForum in Health Track organized by Techtour. My name is Tina and I will be your moderator today. In the very beginning of this session, I would like to share with you a couple of facts about the Invest Horizon Accelerator program. This is a 3-year project financed and promoted by the European Commission in association with Eureka. Techtour is the coordinating partner, and together with the other partners that now you can see on my screen, we are delivering free, tailor-made services to top 500 selected entrepreneurs from across Europe. We started in 2019 and the project will be finalized December this year. The pitching companies today have been selected from the Invest Horizon Accelerated SMEs Cohort 8 and Invest Horizon Pilot. Now we start with a few but important housekeeping rules so you know how to participate in today's session and take the most out of it. Please be aware we are recording this session. If you're a presenter and it's not okay with that, please write us here in the chat so we can exclude you from the recording that will be shared with all participants after the session. If you're not with your full name, please rename yourself with name, surname, and company name. You can easily do that by clicking on the 3 dots on top right of your screen and choosing the option rename. Please keep your camera on all the time during the session. This way we would like to shorten the distance. Please turn off your microphone and activate it only if you are presenting or invited to speak. Anytime during this session, you can submit your questions in the chat, addressing them to the speakers and pitching companies or to our team in case you need any support. You can use the chat functionality by pressing the fast key combination Alt+H. Now I'll be going quickly through the program of today's session. First minutes, I will invite to the stage Peter Doyle from Photon Hub Europe for a special EC project presentation. Next, you all will be split into 3 breakout rooms, including 7 or 8 pitching companies each, experts, plus 1 facilitator from Techtour keeping the time. At the end of your breakout session, you all will be requested to complete our feedback survey. eForum today should fit in 2 hours in total. If you already have any questions, please write them down in chat and they'll be answered shortly by my colleagues and myself. Now I give the word to Peter Dow from Photon Hub Europe for a short presentation. Peter, the floor is yours. I will stop sharing my screen now.
Yeah.
Just a second. Sorry about that. Okay, it should be done now.
I'll just put it in presentation mode. Good morning, everybody. I'm delighted to be here. I'm going to take a few minutes just before you get into the main purpose of today, but I want to introduce a potentially interesting concept and support program for maybe not everybody, but many of you, I think, may potentially benefit from this. It's we're an innovation hub at the European level in the photonics domain. Just to briefly introduce myself, I work within the Brussels Photonics team at the University in Brussels. So we centrally coordinate this program of a consortium that's European-wide. It's a very large consortium, but we offer basically access to all of their expertise to companies anywhere in Europe. I work on the business side, so I engage with you as entrepreneurs, founders, and business people growing companies. Myself, have been a co-founder and board member of several high-tech ventures in the past, also doing an IPO on NASDAQ. So I do understand the journey and what it takes to grow a company, grow a business. Along that way, there's many particular challenges. Obviously, raising finance and funding is critical and constant, but you also need to marry that in parallel with the clearly development of your product and reaching certain milestones in the development. And some of the requirements that you have are things not necessarily in-house. So it's how do you get those supports when you don't have all the resources in-house. One of the areas where the technology that can be real enabling technology, and particularly in the medical and digital health space, is photonics, which is the science and technology of innovating with light. So we're familiar with optical telecoms and what has made the internet possible and continues to drive it forward, but also photovoltaics and solar energy, but LED lighting, lasers and manufacturing, lenses, machine vision in Industry 4.0, but medical optics, and particularly sensors and cameras on endoscopes, etc., are really creating huge opportunities in the medical space. So there's lots of domains that can benefit from photonics, and medical is just one of those. And really what we find is that most companies in these domains would not necessarily have photonics expertise, but how do you innovate with photonics when you don't have the expertise in-house? Markets are growing and globally, and Europe has a very strong share. But also the other problem is that most of the companies are in the sub 10 million revenue bracket. So it's startups, scale-ups, but SMEs. And for SMEs, again, the resources not having those in-house, and especially a technology like photonics, where you just don't have the native understanding of it or all the full expertise, then how do you innovate with it when you're a small company? So it really is a barrier to growth, is access to expertise and access to the technologies in photonics. So what we provide is a one-stop shop as an innovation hub. That means we provide particularly this test before invest opportunity. So before you're going to put your own capital or your investors' capital on the table and investing, and especially in something like deep tech and hardware, you really want to test and make sure that it's optimized and that it really does work and deliver the solution that you want. So the ability to actually do that prototyping work and scale up work and testing the technology at the early TL levels, we actually provide that support service. In parallel, we provide skills and training. We provide support to find investment. So we link up with Tech Tour on investor matchmaking opportunities, and overall then connecting companies with each other. So we create an ecosystem of a supply chain right through from the component suppliers into full system and end users. We cover all of Europe, so we're a very large consortium, over 50 partners covering most parts of Europe, and we have a large number of people within those institutes who are trained in Photon Hub processes and procedures, so they can be mobilized basically to help companies. We cover, as I said, the range of activities from initial orienteering. Where do I go? How do I navigate this landscape of photonics? Can I get trained and reskilled, starting with introductory courses down to hands-on training in labs. The deep innovation support, where we really get hands-on and collaborating with companies on individual projects from TRL 3 right up to 8. We ally that with business coaching, investment coaching, and regional supports as well. And so we actually, as much as possible, we try and stay local, where a local company in its own jurisdiction can get support locally, but the best solutions can be mobilized on a European level, then where the local solution is not necessarily optimal. We cover the full range of photonics technologies, so it's not a technology push, it's a business pull, and we have the technologies then that will deliver the job for the company. And we cover the full supply chain. So you can start with a very early stage concept, and it's a feasibility, and then start to build from there in designing, prototyping, and scaling up towards mass manufacturing. So we're mainly an SME instrument, especially for first users and early adopters. So we do work with large companies as well that are early adopters of photonics. It's innovation support instead of funding. So we use our funding to fund our partners to do the work and collaboration and deliver the support services to the companies rather than giving money directly to the companies. So you're the beneficiary basically of the supports. As I said, it's driven by your business needs. So you present your business need and then we match the best support to that. And we support a range of industry sectors, but medical and digital health are very strong. It's about getting innovation close to market, so accelerating. So our average project durations are about 6 months, and companies can do multiple projects to accelerate their product to market. And ultimately, for us, the impact is in the business growth. That's our return on investment, if you like, is ultimately in your business plan. Will you grow on the back of this innovation? Will you grow your revenues, grow your jobs, or grow your investment? So one of our key things is to work with the venture capital community as well to see that after an innovation project with a company, does that help them close, for example, a Series A round and raise more capital because they've achieved certain technical milestones. Heavily subsidized for SMEs, over 80%. For large scale companies, it's 50%. So we do expect companies to put some of their own cash on the table to show their commitment, and that contribution rises as you go higher up in the TRLs. But of course, at that point, then we're expecting that private capital kicks in because the risk, the market opportunity is clearer and the technical risk has been reduced. We supported lots and lots of companies over the last 10 years through various projects. Photon Hub is now the latest European funded project under Horizon 2020, and moving into Horizon Europe. We're going to be around for the long term. It's a continuous open call for innovation projects. So you apply at any moment through the Photon Hub website, photonhub.eu. We do a scouting and then a proposal submission and evaluate them every 2 months. And it's an online application process. And all the details are on the website in terms of eligibility criteria and the evaluation process, etc. So for those who are interested, potentially have an idea about how they might innovate with photonics, then please check out Photon Hub Europe. You could join the community there. So it's just a place to start to network and see what's going on, hear the success stories of other companies in the medical domain, and then maybe start some online training. There's a free introductory online training as well in photonics, and then you can maybe visit a demo center, experience center for a little bit more hands-on, and gradually really understand what the opportunities are for your particular business and product. And other than that, I wish everybody very, very well today. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Peter, for your presentation. Now we continue with some details on how we are going to run the breakout rooms. First, our facilitators will give the word to the experts in the room for very short introductions. Then every pitching company will have 10 minutes time, 5 minutes for presentation and 4 minutes for Q&A. For keeping the time of your presentation, you will see a red warning 1 minute left on top of your screen. At the end of your time slot, experts in the room will have 1 minute to complete an online evaluation form for each company performance. A special link to this form will be shared with you in the breakout room chat. Please be aware that only experts in the room are invited to complete the evaluation forms. If you're representing a company, please do not do that. And here you see the actual room distribution today. Now you should see a pop-up. Click and go to your breakout room. Good luck to all pitching companies.